Good evening. Welcome, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Glad you could join me tonight. Another quiet evening here in my house. I hope that you're all having a good week. And just so you're all aware, um, I'm having bad fibro day. That said, we'll see if we end up going the whole hour. I may end up stopping stream a little early, just depending on how I'm feeling. But that said, I am so happy all of you are here tonight. As I was telling our sweet ghost dragons behind the scenes, I got a new book that I have been wanting for some time now. It's a rather thick book. It is The Encyclopedia of Spirits, the ultimate guide to the magic of fairies, genies, demons, ghosts, gods, and goddesses by Judica Isles. And it literally is just that. It is an encyclopedia. The book gives the um, origin, alternate names. Um, it gives the basic information on how, whether it is a mythological creature, how that mythology came about, and so on. And as you can see by the bookmarks, I've been down the rabbit hole the last few days, reading through it. Actually stumbled across something really kind of cool that I'll share with you all a little later. Um, let's take a minute though, pause, slow it down just a little bit, and I'm going to set our intentions and light our candle and do a little sage, set the mood. I've said it before, and you see me say it in the other chat rooms. Um, I want this to be kind of a sanctuary for all us weirdos. Where we can sit, we can get together. Even though I can't read the chat, I know because I go back and I watch that all of you in chat are coming together and saying hello to each other and supporting each other, um, sharing each other's stories. So I just like this to be our little sanctuary, our time to take a deep breath. So with that said, what am I feeling called for first? I'm being called to our sage. And do we want to do sage this week or Palo Santo? I think we're going to do the Palo Santo. It has such a comforting energy. Um, I think right now there's a lot going on in the world, a lot going on in all of our lives. We get caught up in the rat race and caught up in family drama, um, the health issues, and all that that goes on. So let me give that beautiful smell, Palo Santo, cleansing and clearing to all of you out there. Cleanse my tools, light it one more time, do a little bit for myself. And just take a deep breath. Just let that stress of the week kind of roll off your shoulders. Let it go. Just let it frickin' go. I try not to cuss on here, um, out of respect to Gemma and to what she's allowing me to do. But some of you who know me really well know that I can cuss like a sailor. feels good. It's kind of all it is you and me and this space that we have together right now. Everything else in the world, let's just wait a few minutes while we're here. And then I'm going to light a candle tonight. I decided to hold out one of my honey candles. Boy, it smells like heaven. It smells like the honey and blossoms of summer solstice. And with that being right around the corner, well, this one would be a good one to pull out. And then there's a lot in our community that they kind of suffer in silence. They don't want to burden others with the full scope of whatever's going on in their lives. And, that may include frustrations and job loss and loss of loved ones and so on. And then this weekend, is a holiday here in the U.S., Memorial Day is Monday. And while that day is set aside for our veterans as a way to remember them, it's also just a way to remember all of our loved ones, the ones we've lost. And so tonight, I ask that when I light this candle, that our loved ones that we've lost feel the love that we have for them, and that we feel their happiness, that we know they're close by. Love and light only. Know that while you're not close by in physical form, we know you're here. We know you watch over us. We get those little signs and synchronicities that tell us you're close by. The butterfly, dragonfly, the cardinal, the feather, penny. And as we go forward, we'll watch closely for those signs, those reminders that you're nearby. Thank you. So, not knowing how I feel, I wanted to, and I also wanted to get into this book a little bit. I only pulled one of our stone cards, and the reason I pulled this one is twofold. Let me backtrack. The card I pulled is yellow fluorite, and I'll read from the card to start out with. Yellow fluorite is a manifestation and money drawing stone. It activates the solar plexus chakra, helping you feel powerful and filled with possibility. Yellow fluorite embodies the law of attraction in crystal form. This good fortune magnet is a great gem for business owners and helps attract and increase clients. It's the stone of abundance. But yellow is also um, the color of the sacral chakra, that chakra that sits just a few inches by your belly button. And that yellow chakra, that's where your gut feeling comes from. That's where your sense of security comes from. And when you are experiencing turmoil and especially remembering the loss of a loved one, like we will over this weekend, Memorial Day, um, you feel it in that part of your gut. And so yellow fluorite is a good stone to support you in that. Let me hold the card up, start out with, so you can take a look at that. And then I actually have, this is a bowl which can be used to, now you can either use it as a spear stand, um, you can use it to put herbs or something like that on your altar. You can um, put water in it. You know, it's actually safe. You can, so if you're needing the element of water on your altar, you can put a little water in it, or as a way to, give thanks, give honor, so on. Um, this particular one is uh, carved in shell, and you can see it has the spiral, which is also the Fibonacci symbol, um, that ever repeating pattern that is the same as it continues, that gets larger and larger. And, science has found more and more that um, most of our world is based around that Fibonacci symbol. Um, with this particular piece of yellow fluorite, I played with it a little bit before stream because I wanted to show it off to you. So if I hold it up close, you can see that it does have bands of the purple fluorite, and purple being that third eye chakra color. Um, so it's also good for, you know, connecting to what you know, as well as what you feel in your gut. I've got a flashlight here, and so I wanted to, you can see how, if, say, you were to put this on a light stand, you would be able to see the bands just glowing in that yellow fluorite. So, also, picking a manifestation money drawing stone, I did that in part because we have a new moon, full moon, get your back straight, girl, a full moon tonight. And really, the full moon cycle, the energies of the full moon is believed to continue from the time just a little before it becomes full to 24 to 36 hours after its apex of becoming full moon. And so, whether you do something tonight, do something tomorrow, it this particular full moon is the flower moon and is considered one of the best ones of the entire year for manifesting um, gentle love and abundance. And so, again, if you're someone who likes to um, honor the, shamanic traditions and so on, a little piece of yellow fluorite um, placed on an altar during the full moon. And then you can write down those things, those types of things that you would like to draw in that abundance. It could be um, love for family. It could be that new job that you're looking for. And when you write it out, you can, just put it on a little post-it note. You can fold it up and then just leave it there overnight during the full moon, out in the full moon. You could, in a fire safe container, in a fire safe manner, you could then burn that piece of paper. You could, during the night of the full moon, or in the early morning hours, bury it outside. Give it to Mother Earth as and say, you're giving it over to the greater power. That here, this is what my hopes, my prayers are for. I give it over to you. I give it over to the universe, um, to allow it to come into being. So, just a couple ways that you can work with some yellow fluorite during this time. I also wanted to, I got, what's the right way to put this? I got tapped on the shoulder by my guides that I should do a little game to engage all of you and give away. And we're going to do this during the stream. Okay. So I have a couple of objects. Okay. I will be nice. I will make it a little easier. I have a couple of crystals in front of me that I can fit in my palm. And I'm going to put one of them in my hand. And I want you to guess in the comments what the crystal is, or what its color is, or both. And then whoever guesses first the correct answer, I will give them something special. Okay? So this is a little bit of intuitive practice. I'm going to start you out with, we're going to go with something pretty easy. And I'm going to focus on what its color is. So this is practice. And then I want you all to write it in the chat. What color do you think it is? That's all I want, is just what color it is. Okay? Stephen, do you see if anyone put the color black and or who the first person was? Would you pop their name up? And while he's doing that, I'm going to get my other stone here. Okay. Actually, I'm going to pull something out from this particular bowl. We're going to go twofold. So this one is going to be not only the color, but the shape. And I don't care how weird it feels. Okay, I showed it a little too soon. That's fine. That's fine. So we'll do another practice then. And let's see, we're going to do this one here. So I'm going to hold it up and I'm going to focus on what its color is. And we're just doing color. That's all I want is color. Now go ahead, and if you think, feel, know, hear, or see what color the stone is, write it in chat. Ghost Dragons, just post me a thumbs up once people have made some guesses, and then I'll show the stone. And that way you don't have to come on screen. So what color am I holding in my hand? What's the main color that you sense? Do we have some guesses yet? Are we ready for the answer yet? I'm going to count to 10. When I get to 10, I'm going to show you what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you said blue, that would be correct. If you said red or reddish brown, that would be correct. Because there's the other side of this stone. Okay? Good girl, Smoochie. All right, we're going to do one more. And this one, like I said, it's a color, but it's a shape. And I'll make it a little easier. That shape is a living creature and not a mythical one, to be fair. So I'm going to focus. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to watch. I've got a little clock down here. And focus on what it is and what color it is. And then I'll give you 60 seconds and then I'll count it down. But that'll give you time to give your answers. And this is an intuitive exercise that you can do with family members. What I found as a kid doing these exercises with my mom is it gave us a much better empathetic connection. I'd know when she was being truthful. I'd know when she needed something from me. Um, so yeah. All right. We're at about 25 seconds. So I'm going to count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So if you guessed white, you got it right. If you guessed clear, you still got it right because it is quartz after all. If you got spider, you got it right. A white cat. Good, very close. And it could have easily been a white cat. If you got snowflake, that's also a right guess because if you look at its shape and if what information you were focusing on wasn't super sharp, you could have seen this as a snowflake, 100%. But Roger, Ghost Dragons and I will check after the stream, but since you got that right, you're going to get a little something from me. So we'll hook up. You can shoot me an email. Maybe we can hook up on Facebook Messenger, something like that. And I'm going to send you a piece, a very special piece of amber. This is Indonesian blue amber. And as the name implies, this is only found in Indonesia. Where it gets its name, you have to have a black light for. See if I can hold it up close enough that you can see. There we go. Under black light, it turns blue. I'd like to send this to you. And like I said, it was my guide saying, do it. So, Roger, it wasn't me, it was them. It was my guides. So, even if you don't feel like it belongs to you, maybe there's someone you know that needs this, that needs a little something to make them feel special. Okay. So we'll get in touch. I'd like you to have it. Trust me, I have a lady. She hooks me up. She's she knows my favorite gems. So it's not like it's something that costs me a large amount of money, but it's a little something I'd like to pass on. And I've found that through my life, there will be times, and I don't everyone out there experiences this, where you'll be out and about, you'll be gift shopping, or just, walking by, and you'll see something, and you don't know why, but you're just very called to get that item. And you may keep it for a little while, and maybe down the road, um, all of a sudden you'll go, so and so would love this, whatever that item is. Um, Objects carry energy, and most of the time, that's good energy. And there's a frequency and a vibration that we are attracted to, um, that comes in balance with us, or we sense that it will be in balance with someone else. And so we'll pick up those items. For instance, I've got my little angel bell here, and I actually bought one, and passed it on to my teacher, Sarah Lemos, that, I already had a larger one. No, you need to go ahead and get two small ones. The larger one is going to be gifted onto someone else, and the smaller one is the one I keep, as well as the one that I gave to Sarah. And it goes back to learning to trust that first bit of information you get in a situation. It's how we survive, um, while we were nomadic, while we were out on the plains, while we were in the forest. It trusting that first gut instinct and acting on it. That I don't know who, don't know why, but I need to pull it. So pass it on to someone else in the chat. All right. Okay. We can do that. We can do that. Very sweet of you, Roger. Um, so let's see. With this new encyclopedia that I got, I wanted to start out with, in the beginning of it, it's got a really nice glossary of terms, and it talks about the different types of spirits, beings, so on and so forth. But it had one little paragraph here that kind of summed it up very well. And it says, the Encyclopedia of Spirits contains spirits from all over the world. Must an individual work exclusively with spirits deriving from their own religious or ethnic backgrounds? That's completely up to you. Some people feel especially close to spirits reflecting their own background or feel safer with them. However, historically, veneration tends to be cross-cultural. Spirits may or may not recognize distinctions that are so important to some people. Those distinctions may be, um, you know, early paganism and early Christianity and so on. A lot of those traditions were cross-culturally absorbed so that the early Christian culture could um, draw in more followers from the pagan culture. You're welcome, Roger. You're welcome, hon. So let's see. I had started out with, as I was flipping through, I kind of just let it fall open where it wanted to start out with, and then bookmarked a few things to go along with it, which I find kind of interesting. That I popped onto Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, and Texas Front Porch stream night before last, as they were having a discussion about the differences between, what's a mermaid, what's a siren, and you know, they had some basic information, but didn't have the in-depth information that I have been taught. And then, of course, I now have this as a resource. So I hopped on there and I gave them a little bit of what for, had a little bit of fun, and talked about it. But if you go to this one, under mermaid, for instance, and it says nearly every culture on Earth possesses mermaid lore. They appear all over the world. Those lack those lacking oceans have freshwater mermaids who inhabit springs, lakes, wells, rivers, and swamps. So some of those might be the naiads, the dryads, and so on. Then you have archaeologists in the Middle East have excavated 3,000-year-old bronze images of mermaids. That gives you an idea of how far back some of the lore goes. In general, mermaids share the following traits: the power of prophecy, ability to grant wishes, fulfill petitions, power to bestow or remove fertility. That's an interesting one. Prosperity and abundance. Um, a volatile temperament to varying degrees. Uh, mermaids are um, to, not inclined to turn the other cheek. They are vengeful if angered or wronged. So some of the legends and lore that I have learned and have been taught, and it goes on to describe it here, is that the mermaids and sirens of ancient Greece were almost interchangeable as far as a supernatural being, both having that ability to hypnotize, if you will, to draw someone in, um, to be easily angered, to um, potentially like make the sailors wreck their ships on the shores. And let me pull up. So now I'm going to flip to sirens. And siren or sirens, it goes on here. True sirens, the sirens of classical Greek mythology, are bird women related to harpies or Lilith. However, we think of, I believe it's the Iliad and the Odyssey, where the sirens um, lure the sailors of, I believe it's the Argos was the name of the ship, to the shore and cause it to crash. So, Siren's song is irresistible. Sirens are singing goddesses whose alluring voices can neither be resisted nor ignored. Aha. In their most famous appearance in Homer's Odyssey, where they are categorized among dangers of the sea-like Scylla, or Scylla, Scylla, and Charybdis, or Charybdis, Charbdis. They show up in the saga of Jason and the Argonauts as well. So, with the historical references that she's able to give here in this encyclopedia, you're looking at two different types of entities, but that both have similar attributes in the way that they would lure in, and the way that they would be alluring in their siren's song, in bringing the sailors to them. Let's see here. It goes on to sirens are an erotic goddess of love and desire. Sirens are friends and servants of Persephone, who is the goddess of beauty. Persephone also assigned them their role as psychopomps and death goddesses, meaning those that lured one to one's fate, to one's death. Not necessarily in an evil way, but that they were the guardians that drew the dead to the land of the dead. Persephone being the one who some say was tricked by Hades to become his wife, but was given the fruit of the pomegranate by Hades And for each one of the pomegranate seeds that she ate, she was cursed to spend that many months in hate, yes, in Hades with him. So again, this legend, this lore is intermingled, intertwined with the historical reference of ancient Greece. Um, whereas with the what we think of as a mermaid, and I've got another description here that I'm going to save for a later time, but the legend and lore of the mermaid actually has been modernized, beautified. Um, I've got another book here that it's actually one that I use for decorating uh, scrolls that have calligraphy done sort of in a medieval style. And I'll hold this one up for you. And it is Sea Monsters um, on Medieval and Renaissance Maps by Chet Van Duzer. And it's an amazing book if you like maps, if you're into maps. Pull up one. It's got a lot of really great depictions of medieval and Renaissance maps, but it has a lot of great pictures of the mythological beasts that were believed to be seen by these sailors. And in a lot of cases, when these sailors would say, for instance, let me see if I can find the sea lion. They say, I saw, or the natives called this thing a sea lion. And so then you get the artist creating, okay, what would a sea lion look like? Where did you go? Ah, there's one of the other ones I want to show you. Creating their version of what a sea lion might look like. You know, okay, we've got some other creatures here because I'm not finding the sea lion. But, you get, okay, so maybe you get a combination of a goat and a fish. Or maybe you get the dragon there as something that they say they've seen. With the sea lion, you're talking about, we in modern days, we know what a sea lion. Oh, you have it? Yeah, it is. It's one of my favorites. I absolutely actually have a portfolio of individual drawings that I've done and then painted them. Ah, here's a good one. The seahorse. We know what a seahorse is. We're in modern times. We've seen seahorse on, you know, Wild Oceans on Discovery Channel and things like that. But when you're trying to describe to somebody what this creature is, and then they turn around and try to paint it, you know, well, it had the head of a horse and the body of a fish. And so you end up with depictions like this one of the seahorse that then gets scooped into our legends, our lore, our mythology, um, in ways that, you know, it's hard for us to conceptualize sometimes the way it would have been in say medieval England and trying to interpret um, these ideas, these thoughts. with the mermaid in antiquity, they were a little bit more scaly, a little bit more um how did Tex put it? Ca- Cabin in the woods, like there was a creature in the movie Cabin in the Woods, and I know which creature he's talking about, and where it's almost like the ones in Harry Potter. If you've seen the creatures in the lake that are guarding the other students, um, like that, where a little bit more ferocious, a little more vicious. So we've been Disneyfied, and while don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Little Mermaid story and the Disney movie, but you go back to the early legends of these creatures, and they're a little bit more scary than you know we might think of in modern times. So I'm going to be diving more into this encyclopedia and some of my other, historical books, because me being the history, especially medieval history nut that I am, I've got quite a few on my shelves back here and up in the other room that I can share with you. And just, I'm trying to hopefully take a little bit of, take the fear out of some of the paranormal world and supernatural and so on, but also bring forward some of the knowledge that, maybe we've lost a little bit of um, over the years because of, new generations coming into this. Young people not, you know, okay, they see a dog man. Well, or they see what do they call that thing now? The White Walker. Um, you know, Tex and I talked about that the other day. That what they're calling pale crawler. That's right. What they're calling crawler. Well, he and I grew up knowing that exact same thing as a ghoul. You know, and how even just generational gaps can change our perception and our interpretation of this paranormal world we're living in every day. So, with that said, I'm going to end the stream here just a little bit early, as I can certainly, feel that I'm feeling a little bit off. And I want to go ahead and send light and love to all of you. Remind you that tomorrow night, Gemma's got her one card oracle readings from 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time to about 11:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Ghost Dragons, I believe, will be doing his replays Saturday night. Watch for notifications on that. Make sure you've got your notifications set for all of Gemma's streams. Look for her new stories released. She always does two on Mondays and Chillin' on Tuesday. And oh, thank you, Smoochie. I appreciate that very much. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell until I go back and watch afterwards whether I'm being as disconnected in what I say and do as what it feels like in here, because I can feel the disconnect happening. So, uh, with that said, though, love, light, blessings to all of you. Um, enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Celebrate with your loved ones. Honor the ones we've lost. Know that they are with us. They smile when we smile. They see our joys. And I will see you all in the chat room with Gemma tomorrow night. Um, love, light, blessings, and good night, everyone.